Hey everybody, welcome. I'm Go Vera, Go Home. Welcome to the Sunday Brunch Kit Builds. We're about an hour early. We started an hour early today. I've got some stuff that I need to do later on today, and I was able to start a little bit earlier, so that's what we're going to do. We have been building it collectively as a group throughout the month of May, and June is very quickly approaching. So I got to get some final touches on this thing. I've got a few more pieces that I need to add as well. And also I want to add some detail. But the kit that we've been working on is the Walthers 130-foot brick 2-stall, which you'll be able to see here. There's the 2 stalls. And it's an engine facility. This is just my version of it. I changed the roof out completely. So I made my own roof for it, added some pieces from the Walthers Union Station, just some glass roof there so that you can see on the inside and the whole thing will light up. So I wanted to change it up. Perry was doing one that's 2 kits wide, and Mike, he's doing his more just like the book would tell you. But everybody has their own unique little touch to it. And there was a few of us that were on the go. Now, Mike is at the cottage this weekend, and I believe Perry is at a club meet for the HOTRAC, which is the Ottawa Train Club. So they probably won't be joining today, unfortunately. So it probably will just be myself building. But I've got a few things to show you. Also, I'm going to work on a few things too. So first things first, I'm going to show you. We're going to do a quick. It's like an unboxing, kind of. It's kind of an unboxing, and it's for the mini of the month. So if you guys haven't heard of mini prints, miniprints.com or miniprints.ca, they have a mini of the month that if you sign up, I believe it's $29.95 US, free shipping, or the shipping is included in the $29.99. And normally I do this on the GVO After Dark, which was this past Thursday. But I believe because Bernard was out of town at the US YouTube modeler meetup in Greeley, Colorado, they were late to ship. So I got mine on Friday. So I'm going to open it now for you guys, and I'm going to show you what you get inside. Now, I've already pre-opened the thing here, so you don't get to watch me struggle with that. Okay. Bernard always includes a little here. I'm just getting ready to head back to Greeley, Colorado for the YouTube meet and greet and more live 3D body scanning at the Colorado Model Railroad Museum. I will document all of my adventures and on the New Mini Print Modelers Facebook group. Have you joined the group yet? I have personally, because I follow on all different types of social media. Also, you can find me on all different types of social media as well. GVO or Go Big or Go Home. Instagram, Facebook, and of course, you're watching YouTube as well. This month's selection includes a set of 5 30-inch railroad wheel wood blocks. Neat. Perfect for a track detail or transport on a truck or flat car load. A set of garden gnomes for the yard, and some osprey birds. Included are 2 new figures. Derek B. was scanned in Denver rail fanning with his impressive cameras, and George B. was scanned at the Springfield show with his NCE Pro Cab throttle. There's also an HO scale 4x8 layout, complete with scenery and trains for George to operate. Happy modeling, and I hope that you enjoy your mini print of the month. Neat. Also, it says that the next mini print live is Wednesday, June 7th at 7. and that's normally on Facebook and YouTube. So normally comes in a little box, sometimes a big box, depending on what the minis are. And it's always well packaged because it always includes bubble wrapping here. So here's the wheel sets. This is the first thing because this is probably the biggest part here. So there's the wheels that are on the blocks. That's really neat. That would make for a great load for a flat car. Nice. And they're also very clean too. I might have to just sand the bottom a little bit so it sits flat. But overall, it's a really nice set. Cool. Next is the little HO scale train layout. Now, I do remember mentioning to him, I said, hey, it'd be cool if you did a little layout. Well, I don't know if I said layout or modular thingy where you can buy a bunch of these different ones and then build what would be the equivalent to a little layout. But that's really cool. I'm gonna do this one, and I'm gonna put it in my my little hobby shop because I have a Walther's Hobby Shop kit, and I'm gonna put this right in the window so that you'll be able to see it. So that's really cool, and the building lights up, so it'll give it lots of light. That's awesome. And is this okay? So this is the gentleman with the that would be operating the layout, I'm assuming. Is that which is the guy that's operating the layout? Oh, no, this is the gentleman that'll be operating the layout. And it was very hard to tell because the pieces are still on there that hold it in place and hold it upright. Very cool. So he will probably go right in front of that, and he'll be able to operate that. Here are the garden gnomes. Perfect if you've got like a little residential area and you got little gardens. Every garden needs a gnome, I think. Here are the osprey. There is looks like one is flying and one is perched or sitting. So you have to, in order to see it flying, you have to kind of look at it like this. It's printed upside down, right? This way you get the wingspan. So there's the one, and the other one, the little one is right in front of my finger there. I know it's really hard to tell, and my camera isn't really doing it justice right now, but there we go. Neat. And of course, this is probably okay, so those are cameras. So he's got a whole bunch of cameras around his neck there, and he's ready to do some rail fanning. And of course, like, he's still on the stand and whatnot, so all that'll have to be removed. Very cool. So this was a really good mini of the month. And I'm probably going to be using most, if not all, of these items. And I can use them on my pre-existing layout. I don't have to create something separate to add the stuff or to include it. So that's really cool. Besides my Canada geese, I don't have any birds yet that I can put flying around, but now I do. So that's cool. So big shout out to Mini Prince, Bernard at Mini Prince. Go get yours today. I want to say hey to everybody. Chat joining me. Thanks for joining me today. Mom and Sons and Nathan and Mystic and Brian from Inked Rails and Mark from M&M Rails. How's it going, Mark? Anthony, how's it going, Anthony? And Kyle and Ethan and Perry. Hey, Perry, how's it going? Okay, so let's get started on this. So I have quite a bit still that I need to do. So I'm just going to take the roof off here. And my main mission for today is to do the mortar between all the bricks. So I'm going to take a bit of white paint and I'm going to water it right down so that try this one. When it sounds like there's paint in there, but there isn't paint in there. Oh, weird. Why is this such a difficult thing? Okay, I'm just going to open this and then pour it in directly. No, I don't want. Okay, Tommy. And around the layout, how's it going? Okay. Well, I believe this should work, so we're going to try it out. I'm going to grab my brush here, and we're going to see how well this works. That's a good question, Anthony. It might be more of a question for either Scale Trains or Athearn, because I am neither. To be honest with you, it's probably because Scale Trains did the right thing and asked them first for permission instead of just doing it. But who knows? There's a lot of stuff that we don't see or hear when it comes to something like that. We can only speculate. But yeah, it is kind of a pain when it comes to wanting certain locomotives or wanting certain models, but there's lots of people. So while I'm doing this, I think we can talk about some upcoming stuff that we can look forward to seeing. So this week, well, tomorrow night anyways, tomorrow is the Monday night live show that Mike and James always do. So that's at 7 o'clock at night. And I do believe we're on Mike's channel, Trackside Mike, tomorrow. Now, unfortunately, they're starting to implement once a month in office work days through my work now. I've been working from home since March of 2020 for obvious reasons. And now they want to make it a once a month thing. So unfortunately, the only day that I could do this for was tomorrow night. So I probably won't be able to catch the live, unfortunately. But I'll be there in spirit, of course. On Thursday night, we'll be over on Tim's channel. Tim, They Make It Like That. And I'm pretty sure he has a awesome show lined up for you guys. I'm not going to give too much away, but I don't think he's graffitiing this time, which will probably be the first show in a while that he does where he's not graffitiing something. But there has to be something else that he's working on that's not graffiti then, right? So you have to tune in Thursday at 8 o'clock to see what he is working on. Next Saturday, I will be at the Arm Prior Train Show. And the train show runs all weekend long, so it's June 3rd and 4th. And I'll be there hanging out with Bubs031 and Perry, Trains by Perry. I'm pretty sure Eminem Rails is going to. Mark, can you confirm that? I think you're still in the chat there. Yeah, you're still in the chat. Are you going next Saturday or Sunday? I'm going on Saturday, but Ethan is going to be posting a train layout video on Monday. That's cool. I'm going to be going to Toronto on the 5th, which is next Monday. Not tomorrow Monday, but in a week from tomorrow, because Rapido is doing their annual. Is it annual? Annual's once a year, right? Anyways, they're doing the retailer barbecue, and I'll be hanging out with OVR Trains at the show. And show. I say show, but it's not a show. It's just you show up and they have some good eats there, and they always do an announcement, so I'm really excited for that. And there's going to be somebody else there that you might know, but I'm going to leave that to a surprise because I don't think he has mentioned it either. He hasn't really mentioned it yet, so I'm going to let him either tell you or you'll see, because we're probably going to be doing live videos there and whatnot. So I'm really excited to see what they announce, because they always announce something. Last year they announced the CN GP9 Mother and Slug set. So yeah, really excited to see what they do this year. Also, my wallet is terrified. I'm excited, but my wallet is all like, oh, please no more. Hey, Dwight, how's it going? Thanks for joining. This is quite the process. And all I did was take some white paint and water it down. You can kind of see it there. It's in my calendar. I really hope to make it out. I haven't been to a train show since like 1998. That is true. It has been since like 1998. Now, my son and I have been working on the module, or not module, but what are they called? Diorama. It's his first diorama. And if you missed any of that, check out the last episode of Keeping Track, which aired this past Thursday. He's wanted to do something trainer for a little while now. So I thought, what see where he's at skill wise and what he can do, what he can't do, just try to light a fire as well. See if he takes to things, Both my kids are very artsy, so they like building things just like when I was little, and they like coloring and whatnot and painting. So it's just one of the many things in model railroading. But he's having a good time doing it, and there's still lots more to go. So I have a second part to that on the next Keeping Track. We're going to continue with our projects. Now, the purpose of this is basically because there's little crevices and it's all your brickwork. So when you put the watered down white paint onto the brick, naturally it's going to fill in every single one of these little cracks here, and it's going to more or less pile up or you know, go to the cracks. So that's where the white comes in, and then it fills in, and then it looks like the mortar between the bricks. Also, because it's white paint, I'm hoping that it lightens the color a bit, adds a bit of wear to it. Hey Dave, how's it going? That's a good question, Dave. I have to take my kids to a birthday party the exact same day. So my plan was to basically drop them off, go to the show, and then go pick them up after. So I can let you know because we've got our group chat thing there. So I'll message you and I'll let you know what time I hope to be there for, and maybe Mark can join us too. 11:30. Yeah, it would probably be around 11:30 ish. I think it's Arm Prior is like the halfway mark between you and I, anyways, right? This would be great if it wasn't such a large building. if it was just one brick wall, that's it. Otherwise, this is going to take a little bit to do, but that's okay because, you know, it is what it is. I've actually been painting quite a bit. I've got a whole bunch of things for my layout that I because the summertime is normally when I do most of my painting, right? I'll take the stuff out to the garage and I'll spray it, and because of the warmth and whatnot, it dries way quicker. So basically, like last week, I did that, and then I painted the car, or not painted the car. I cleaned the car. Why would I paint the car? I cleaned the car, and then by the time I was done cleaning the car, the paint was dry. So easy peasy, right? That's right. That was Alexis. Yeah, she's very opinionated, and apparently she doesn't get enough attention. So come here. Hey, Eagle Creek, how's it going? Yeah, I think Perry has got the turbo liner, which is it looks like a cool locomotive. It's or a cool set, I should say, because you can't just get the locomotive; you have to get the whole set. But yeah, it looks like a very neat set. Now, if you missed GVO After Dark this past week, Mark couldn't make it, but I had Mike on the show, Trackside Mike, and we were joined by Lauren of Otter Valley, and he low-key announced 2 new announcements, things that are going to be exclusive models from Otter Valley. One he had briefly talked about in the past, and then one that I had no idea he was doing this. So if you want to see 2 very soft announced 2 new like locomotive, not locomotive, but like train cars, go check out this past month's GVO After Dark. Because I was not expecting that at all. I was going to come and hang out and chat, but yeah. And I'm pretty interested in both things, as far as, will I be getting 1 or 2 or whatever. Well, I'm a big fan of the caboose, so I probably will. Hey, Calvin, how's it going? And John 2618, how's it going, John? If I missed anybody in the chat there, I'm really sorry. I'm half looking at the chat, but I'm also trying to do this as quickly as possible so that I'm not just painting mortar. I want to do a few other things with this. Like I want to get the windows on because the windows are cool. That's partially what I had painted on the weekend. So yeah, I want to do that. Pico has a new train as well. They have American or Amtrak. But you have to put your own decoder in it. But Pico. I thought Pico just made track and switches. Makes sense. A lot of the locomotives that I run personally, I know you guys are probably tired to death about hearing about it, but oh man, if you've never purchased a Bowser, then I highly recommend it. Probably one of the best locomotives I've ever purchased. Value wise, price, detail, comes with lock sound, so that makes me happy. Yeah, just overall. But I was thinking about this the other day because I think about trains a lot. You kind of have to if you do stuff like this. Yeah. Bowser. You mean like Mario and Bowser? No, no, no. I mean like Bowser and Bowser. Mark, do you have a Bowser? I don't. I'm usually pretty good at saying, well, like, yeah, Mark has a thing like a Rapido, whatever, right? But I don't think you have any Bowsers yet. Which, shock and awe. I have no idea why you don't have a Bowser. But I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, what is a motive that literally just brings you so much joy? Something that you can take it off the layout, but like you always come back to that locomotive because you're just like you're so happy with it, and it does that thing, that thing that you just get so excited about running trains. For me, and yes, I did put a lot of thought into this. And you're gonna be like, really? I mean, that's a little on the nose there, Chris, but um, the Rapido F40 locomotive. It honestly, like, it brings me a lot of joy. And I've been posting a lot of pictures and videos lately because it has been a minute since I've run the train, but it's that locomotive that I just keep going back to. And, it just puts a smile on my face. I don't know. Overall, it's just a great locomotive. I've never had any real issues with it. And I have a bunch of them. So lots of variety in paint scheme. They got them for both U.S. and Canadian road names, which, a little something. And the variations too. There's a fair amount of variations. So, if you've ever secretly wanted an F40, might I suggest getting a Rapido F40? Because, yeah, it has that. It's like a video game that you can play through like 50 times over and you don't get tired of it. Not a lot of you will get that reference, but because I don't think everybody here plays video games like I do, but oh man, it's like an instant classic, a hit, if you will. Laura just asked me if I want a Bowser. Well, Mark, you're in luck because there is a locomotive I think that you would want from Bowser that you'd probably be happy with. Bowser is known for their not F40, the SD40 locomotive. And I've got a couple, and I'll probably be getting more. But because I know how you are, right? You don't like high nose locomotives. You do like, sometimes the beefier locomotive, which is cool. You can run a successful on your layout, which is also cool. And you love your CN. So Bowser has an a while ago. They announced the SD40-2W, which is a Canadian specific style SD40. The W meaning wide cab, so it's just a wider cab up front, but it still looks like an SD40. Um, and they'll have them in the zebra stripes, which probably one of my favorite CN paint schemes. And then there's a different number of different road numbers and whatnot, and there's a couple of variations of each one of those. So, might I recommend looking into the Bowser CN wide cabs? As soon as they announced those, everybody was online selling their because I think that the Intermountain ones had a bit of a cruddy drive system to them. So they were really jerky, I think. But um, yeah, it would be mint chocolate chip. That's how good they're going to be. Unless you don't like mint chocolate chip, and then that'd be weird. But yeah, check them out. Check them out. Undoubtedly, I'll get it. If you put down that with those, I wish it's a pair. You don't want to be lonely. For me, it's my Kato FEF3. Absolutely love it. Yeah, I feel like we all have that one locomotive. I find like a lot of the classic guys will have, a favorite steam locomotive. Oh, the 080 or the 284. I think everybody has that one. But for me personally, just a Rapido F40. I feel like it might be. It's almost one of those. Well, if you were stranded on an island and you could only take one locomotive with you, which, I mean, that sounds stupid, right? Like, why would you be stuck on an island? Like, is there a layout at the island? Because, like, I don't think islands have train layouts. It doesn't seem like the kind of thing that would mesh well. Just saying. But Mark, we're going for ice cream. Mark, during the summer, if you find that you and the missus are ever in Almont, there's this ice cream. It's like a food truck. Yep, I'm gonna go there. It's a food truck, but they do ice cream, and I'm gonna show you a picture in a minute. Because the day that I took my youngest son to do some rail fanning, we had to stop by Almont to pick up my wife because she was going to be done work soon. So I'm like, okay, well, we're done here, so let's go and we'll get some ice cream and just hang out, and then we'll go pick up, the wife. I literally, like, I asked for a small for Riker, and this is literally what he got. This thing is bigger than his head. Mine was also close to being that size. I think it was a little bit bigger. But the problem is that, like, I got him to the little picnic table, and then I went and I got mine from them because they made mine. Just chocolate. And I didn't even make it back to my seat. It basic of it, like top fell, and everyone who was sitting around who saw it happen, because I think everybody saw it happening before it actually happened. All you heard was a crowd of, oh. And I was so sad. It was very disappointing. But yeah, I probably didn't need all that ice cream anyways. So, you know, that was someone's way of saying, you know what? You probably just need half of that secretly. And yeah, the other half fell on the floor. So I was not thrilled, but for what it's worth, Riker had a good time. So yeah, if you're ever in Almont, it's right across from the Independent. If you're on the main road, a little to the left, but yeah, good eats, good eats. I have an Intermountain SD42 CN, works well for me. It's like catching fish. You have to be lucky. That's true, because there's quite a few locomotives and even rolling stock too. Like when the Rapido bulkhead flat cars came out, there was obviously some people had complaints that theirs were broken. Mine were fine. I got two of them and they were totally fine. There was absolutely nothing wrong with them. So I can definitely see how that would be a thing where, out of, let's say, 300 units, some of them are going to be not great. So that's why I never really knock whenever somebody says, well, this company makes a cruddy locomotive, but it's like, could just be luck. Usually when it's a bad, unit, the company will either recall it or, it doesn't go out. Scale Trains just sent out a email for those who pre-ordered some of their tank cars, because the tank cars showed up and there's printing issues, there might be some blemishes and whatnot on the paint and whatnot, so they're offering them at 50% off because they're too far down the line that it's just not worth it to redo it. They're going to redo it for those who want a good one that has been checked over really well. But at least they did the decent thing and said, look, there's issues with these. You're if you're meticulous and you want it to look like perfection, then yeah, these are 50% off. And I'm thinking, I'm like, well, you know what? I'm gonna weather it anyways. And obviously, just like Tim there does graffiti on cars, right? Those blemishes, you won't even see them anyways because you can easily cover them with graffiti. Unless the numbers on them are messed up, because usually you want to cover up the numbers and whatnot, the reporting marks, so that you don't so you graffiti over them. But yeah. Hello, Tim, by the way. For brunch, well, I already had my brunch. I built my brunch and ate it already. But I do have a beverage, which is not my breakfast nor my lunch. It's just to get rid of my thirst. Hey, Sparky, how's it going? Are you back from Greeley yet? I think you're back. Sorry, I'll talk louder. Can you hear me all the way from the back of the shed? Wait, how is he typing from the back of the shed? Yo, that's weird. Oh man. Tim, you missed it. We were talking about Thursday and how you have a special show lined up. Hopefully, I'm not overselling it, but you got a special project on the go. Maybe it's just special to me. I don't know. It's one of those, oh, this is awesome and I'm excited type situations. No comment. Okay. So I'm still just, I'm mostly done the face. It's obviously got to dry and whatnot, but I'm just adding a bit more white to some of these areas. Now that it's mostly wet, it's going to be a lot easier for the paint and whatnot to soak in on certain areas here. So it spreads a little bit more easy. Got back Wednesday. Neat, neat. It looks like you guys had a blast out there. Now, the only other thing I'm going to want to do here with this, and I'm not even sure if I should, just because the bricks are so small, but I do want to change the color of a couple of just like individual bricks, right? Because you know how either, oh, this brick is not the same as this brick kind of situation. One might be a little bit darker, one might just be a random brown brick because that's what they had at that specific moment in time. They picked up a brown brick instead. But that's real. It's a real thing. It happens. This here, because of the way the lighting is, it just looks really white. It's not. It's wet, but it's not white. Man, is there an easier way to do this? Okay. Gotta do the end here. Got to march in a parade in a couple hours. See you next time. It was fun. Oh, neat. Parades are awesome. Well, thanks for joining. I don't want to rain on your parade and make you stay. So. Or add this at the end of June. We're starting another group build. We're doing a kit that Brian from the Iron Horse route sent out, and it'll be Mike, Mark, and myself doing the that group build. And it's a 3D printed building. It's correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but it's your parents' house. So it's not something you can just go out and purchase. I mean, you could purchase it from Brian at the Iron Horse route, but I mean, like, like a Walther's kit or something, right? So I'm sure that'll be fun to take on that challenge. Speak of the devil, it's Mr. Mike. How's it going, trackside Mike? I wonder if I lay this down on here, will that be okay? I'm sure it will be. There we go. Okay. Yeah, the wife had to go to work early, and I knew that you and Perry wouldn't be joining today, so I just wanted to start early, finish. That way I have more time between the time that I'm done this and when I have to start work. And Convenience was her middle name. I think the thing that's going to take the longest are all the little detail parts, but if you kind of work through it, do a little bit at a time, then it should be okay. But then I'm thinking about how I only have so much time left, and I'm like, only so much time left. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. But I'm trying not to rush it. It's a process, and it's a process you need to enjoy, right? It's not like wiring, am I right? wiring. I just do it and get it over and done with. Wi-Fi. I think as far as weathering goes, I'm going to leave the weathering until I'm like doing the actual area where this is going to go, which I already have the base of it placed. But what I'll be doing is I will be just finishing it for the build, just to say, okay, it's painted and all that fun stuff. But when it comes to doing all the detail stuff and whatnot, I'm going to leave that. I don't even know if I need to really do the back side of this building, because of the fact that you only ever see the front and the front face. But the thing is, if you don't do it all at once, if down the road, if I need to move this, or if I need to move my layout and I want to use this again, I do want to be able to not be restricted as to, okay, well, this can only go here because of the fact that the back side of it is not painted. So I'm going to just do the whole thing. There's also a few more kits that I'm planning on getting eventually. I still have the top level of my layout to really work on. And thanks to Roy Container Man, because he really wants me to get a turntable now. So I think that my plans kind of need to change for part of the top of the layout so that I can incorporate a turntable. It wasn't on the initial plan, but I've always wanted one. And I've talked about it in the past where growing up I had that really cruddy Atlas turntable that wasn't really, I mean, it's a turntable, yes, but it's not prototypical because it's just like a giant flat circle. And it was noisy as heck. I also like the idea of transfer tables, but apparently there's a lot of issues with the transfer table. So unless Walthers did a re-release of the transfer table, then I would consider it. But if not, then yeah, I'm not really too worried about it. I'm not painting each mortar line, but I mixed white paint in with water, so I've diluted it quite a bit. And when you put it on here, the water collects into the little lines, and then it basically creates the mortar lines. I don't think it's going to be perfect by any means, but it's a thing. So technically, yes, I'm painting the mortar lines, but not in a meticulous way. Just enough to show that there is detail in the brick, if that makes sense. Last week I did all the like around the roof, and then I did all these little concrete pieces as well, just to add a bit more color to it. So now it's strictly just brickwork. Well, I normally go for about 2 hours anyways. And yeah. Normally I do 2 hours. Unless I'm like it's one of those Sundays where you're like, "Oh, no, I can't do 2 hours today for whatever reason. Got to go somewhere." Normally when it comes to doing something like this, there's a lot of pre prep work that's done. Some of it I don't even do on camera, right? Like when I spray painted this black on the inside, didn't do that on camera. So it's stuff like that, or you know, I don't know, but yeah, stuff like that. Oh, I painted the windows as well. I tried painting because I do all my frames. They're all done black, but then I put the one piece in the middle there that's blue, and I tried painting I've got a blue here that I really liked, very similar to this, but it didn't work. So then I used spray instead, and these will go on here like that. And I think it's it's a nice color. So I wanted blue to represent either Ontario Northland or Via Rail because they got both. So they both have blue. I feel that this technique here anyone can do. It's just you got to get your mixture right so that it's not just water, and you don't want it too with too much paint either, right? Because then you're just painting a very water or a very painted down water. You're running, I guess, at that point. So I tend to wet the area first. That way the paint spreads a little bit easier. And the cool thing is that depending on the color that you put under it, like the color of the brick, I find that it gives it a different look. You could also do, I used white, but you can use a kind of a brick color. But because of the color that's under here, it's already, not too bad. So I didn't want to put too much thought into this. I just wanted to do it. Just add the bricks and the mortar. I also need to get a fresh piece of grip tape for the roof part still. I haven't had a chance to go to the skate shop to get that, but I will need to probably next week. And then that way I'll be able to finish that roof off there, and then I'm going to have to paint the little roof detail pieces as well, because I haven't done that yet. Hey, Derek, how's it going? Hey, Ramsey, how's it going? Speaking of roundhouses and turntables, Dwight actually saw a video that Dwight made a N scale 3D printed roundhouse for another YouTuber. I think it looked pretty good. I want to see what it looks like when it's built, because he didn't have it built yet, but I think that's pretty cool that he printed a 3D, he 3D printed a roundhouse. Hey, New Haven, how's it going? Trackside marks. I'm almost done. Yay. This is taking forever. Oh man. This is such a big kit. It's yeah. That's what you get. You pick a big kit, it's going to take forever to do. That's why we didn't do the steel mill, because that would take forever. I'm not even done the steel mill kits I have, and it's been like, I don't know when I got those. Whenever they came out. I don't remember. They're not my focus because they're not on my layout. So, but at least I know that I've got extra kits laying around that I can always work on if I ever need a kit. I think this is probably the most tedious part about doing a brick building, and it's something that I try to stay away from. But unfortunately, with something like this here, you can't really avoid. It does happen. And I'm sure it won't be the last time either, especially if I'm going to do like a roundhouse or whatever. I'm gonna have to figure all that out, because I think there's also an extension piece to the roundhouse as well, and then all that other fun stuff. Yeah, by the sounds of it, it almost sounds like James is almost ready to start building his bench work, which is great because he's gone too long without running any trains. Yeah, most likely. It's gonna look like a very dumbed down version of Toronto, where you've got Union Station, and then you've got technically where the steam whistle uh, museum is right now. Like it's like there's a turntable and then all that stuff. So I have to put that. I'm putting it right above the helix. But the way I'm going to do it is it's all going to be in the foreground, like so everything in the front, right? And then behind it is just going to be like you're not going to be able to see behind it, more or less. So I don't need to really put, a lot of scenery up there because you won't be. Well, I mean, with your height, you could probably see up and over the buildings, but technically, you won't be able to really see all that stuff. But I won't get to doing that end probably until next spring, because I'm busy right now working on the ethanol plant, so the opposite end of the top level. Well, it'll be a good place to store locomotives, anyways, right? More storage. And then I'll be able to knock another thing off my list. The whole wanting to do a turntable. I'm definitely not going to get that shipped though. I'm going to have to like go and pick it up because there would be no way. That's right. He sees the dust that most people won't see. Mike, do you have a turntable? I don't remember if you have a turntable. All good, Brian. I appreciate you doing that for me. Um, you know, obviously, like you've done some rocks for me in the past, and they look really good. So it helps. It honestly really helps, and then it saves me from because if you've got all these molds and whatnot, right? You could start a little business thingy where you're just making rocks for people. That way, people are just paying you to make them rocks, and they don't have to go out and get all the molds and all that stuff. It's just easier, and obviously pay you for your time and whatnot too. But you got lots of time because the Otter Valley thing isn't until September, so call it a summer project, I guess. I don't know how long it takes for you to make, like how long it takes for you to pour a mold and then for it to like and all that. I'm sure it takes at least a day or two, but yeah, 5 feet worth of rocks, 6 feet worth of rocks. All the rocks that I have on my layout as well, Ink Rail did do for me. They were most of them right now that are on there, they're from my old layout, but I was able to save a lot of them and have them moved to the new layout here. I didn't want I didn't want to get rid of them or anything, and it's already landscaped, so I incorporated them into the layout, and I managed to, and you can't even really tell, which is kind of neat. Um, you can't even tell that it was on my old layout. It just the way they are on there now is how it was on my old layout. It's like a cut and paste, basically. I don't feel like I have enough rocks on my layout, so it'll be nice to do like a long rock wall type thing up on the third level there. It'll make for a nice backdrop for when the train is going through there. And did somebody say donuts? John. And then we all laugh. Okay, last wall, I swear. Then I'll be back on the front part again, and I'll be able to see how well it turned out. And maybe I have one of these cloths here to take off all the extra, because they say that you let it somewhat dry, not completely, but you let it dry for the most part. and then you go over it with a cloth, or in this case, I'm going to use paper towel, and it'll wipe up anything that's solid on top of the brick, leaving just the mortar in between the bricks. Hey James, how's it going? Almost done here. Almost done adding all the mortar. I really wish this was an easier job. But it's not. Now, there is another way. I've seen it where people have mentioned you take actual, I don't know what you would use, if you use actual mortar or whatnot, and you apply it to the actual model, and then the extra, which I think would also be neat, but at the same time, I would so worry that it would run the risk of the whole thing just becoming mortar and you would barely see the brick. Obviously, you paint the brick first and all that, then you apply the mortar, and then you wipe it all off, and it would just leave the brick with what would actually be real mortar in between. I do a similar technique on I guess they're called the Merchant's Row kits, right? Because a lot of those are brick. So I do a very similar style of brickwork on those. But obviously, I always use different colors for the brick because I don't like all are all the same. So if you look in a downtown area, you will see many different colors of brick. It's like driving down a street. You'll see different color houses and whatnot too. So I treat each project as an individual project, more or less. Different colors and whatnot. In some cases, you'll have a building where, okay, well, this was built at the same time as this, so they most likely ordered an abundance of brick, and that was mostly just the one color. But if you have it where you have one building, and then let's say the story goes, this was built in 1985, and then 15 years later, they decided to add another building beside it. Yeah, you're going to do a different color brick. You can also try to get something that's closer, but maybe a little bit darker, where one is like the older one is faded and dirtier, but you have a newer looking style one right beside it. It just has to make sense, you know? And if it's near water, it will show the hard water stains marking. Yes, and you got to remember that as well for when you're doing bridges, because water that's near the pier, right? Is it salt water? Most likely. And the salt water will eat away at metals. It'll corrode it, and you'll see a lot more rusting. It's a very good point. Okay, home stretch here. Home stretch. So I just want to see. Oops, there's 2 sheets here. Just need the one. Ew, it's warm now. Okay, not bad. I'm going to show this to you in a minute, guys. I just got to pick some of this down a little bit. And this is at that point where I'm pretty happy with it too. I'm not gonna do anything further to it. I'm just going to wipe this part off here. Okay, and I'm gonna show you now. I don't even know if you'll be able to see it all that well because of the lighting. Like I said, I don't know if you can see it or not, but to me, that looks good. It looks like a win, and I will leave it as is. I'll probably do some other video where you can see it better without this gross lighting right above me. So I do want to put these windows in here now because this is done. So I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to do one at a time here. And because both of these are painted, or I'm gluing it to painted pea stick, I'm going to use my stick here because that works really well where you're okay, yeah, just the glue to get down to there. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to go to the next one. Hey, Randall, how's it going? Now, the other thing that would need to get added as well is the glass or the clear plastic that goes in behind. But again, no real rush for that. I want to make sure I get a good look at this and see how it is first before I start doing finalizing things like that. That's more of a finalizing project. And I was thinking about, now I know I painted the this black, but I'm thinking, do I paint it white? Do I change it to white and do all that stuff? Because typically the insides of these are white, but I needed to do the back part or the top part on the inside black anyways, so that's why I just did the whole thing black. Because I didn't want, if there was LEDs, I don't like when you can see the light through the plastic. So typically what you would do is you would do black on the inside to reduce that. So that's why I did black on the inside. Also, I painted the whole thing inside and out black because I wanted the outside black as the undercoat anyways. So multiple reasons. Oh, Derek, it's Instacure CA glue. It's the purple bottle. It's all, the purple one is a gap filling one. So if, let's say for example, if you're gluing two pieces of plastic together and there's a bit of a hole, this would actually dry more as a solid in that area to fill it in. So the reason why I'm using it around here is because the window frame things are painted black, plus this is painted black, and it's really good for gluing two pieces that are both painted. It also works really well for that. It's not the quickest drawing. I would give it, a little bit before trying anything, too crazy with it. But because these are just, they fit perfectly inside the little frames here, because there's a pre-etched out frame, and literally the window just sits right in there. See, like I can just pop it in. It would probably stay in there if I lifted this whole thing up. But I glue it in. So the other stuff I use where it's plastic to plastic. Where is my other glue? Oh, you got pushed all the way to the back here. When I'm doing plastic to plastic, not painted, this is what I use. Green bottle, Tamiya And this is the quick extra thin cement. And basically, I use that as a welder. It welds plastic together. So I will use that on anything plastic to plastic, not painted. Works really, really well. And it dries really quick. That's why it's thin. Now there's also the stuff that you can get for this. It looks like it's a little like little spray misting bottle, and it will dry this instantly. It's like an Instacure, just something to look for if you're not very patient and you don't like waiting. Hey, Split Rock, how's it going? Happy Memorial Day. Well-made kit. I was surprised to hear that the windows actually snap into the openings. Yeah, it doesn't always happen. This, you know why this is a really good kit though? Because it's newly tooled. I find that a lot of the older stuff, a lot of it's good, but they have made some significant improvements. And with everything that's newer and newly tooled, you're going to get a way better fitting model, a way cleaner model, and yeah, it's just 10 times better than a lot of the other kits, older kits that I've done. Even when I compare the what are they called? The Merchant's Row kits. When I look at the Merchant's Row 2, because I have Merchant's Row 1 and Merchant's Row 2. When I compare them to Merchant's Row 6, which is one of their newest, they just announced Merchant's Row 7. But when I compare it to Merchant's Row 6, which came out last year, huge difference. Such a huge difference. Just in how it's made, how it goes together, just the overall look of it. But yeah, it's a very nice kit. Very happy with this one. And I love building big kits. It's my thing. I love doing it. I'm always down for a challenge. And this one isn't even really a challenge. You know what I mean? It's your basic 4 walls and then, like, see? Perry did a red stripe. I really like the red stripe, and I'm like, I really like the red stripe, but I didn't want to copy, so I went with the blue stripe, and I think the blue is very, very nice as well, and it suits the whole Via and O&R. No, they're not going to tell you that because then they're going to sell, 100 of the newer one and like 2 of the other one. Because if people know that the tooling for the older ones are the exact same tooling, then they're not going to sell as much as, something that's a newer tooled kit. It's just the way it is, unfortunately. But I agree with you. More companies should be a lot more transparent with certain things. We were talking about on on Thursday. We were talking about what we think that Rapido will be announcing at the barbecue, and it had come up where GMD ones, the GMD one that Rapido did, might be something that they would re-announce, because it's been a long time since their last run of GMD ones, which I wouldn't mind, because I was thinking about getting a couple anyways, but from a shop that literally still has some from the first run. They were okay, but there was obviously, when you have a model that was made 13 years ago compared to now, even the tooling surpasses, and you learn so much as a company building a model. Look at Hathorn. Hathorn is a great example. Most of their stuff started off as blue box, and then they made a lot of improvements, and they went to the Genesis. So, yeah, the GMT ones are great. Mind you, you have to get a set because it looks better as a set. They weren't the best running locomotives, and I think that they've found ways to just make their locomotives heavier in general. So, of course, when it comes to getting a locomotive, am I glad that I waited? Yes. Because if I got the earlier one, and let's say I wasn't completely thrilled or over the moon about it for whatever reason, and then they re-announce it now, and it's like, I wouldn't be thrilled. I'd be like, oh, but I want the newer one, because then it's going to be better. So I don't even know what Bubs is going to do, because he's got a couple of GMD ones from the first run, where I don't have any, so I'm not really worried about that. I don't even know if that's going to announce. We were just having the fun discussion of what do we think Rapido is going to announce. So, which we love doing here on the channel, and it's always fun to see what everybody's thoughts are. See, I personally thought, okay, after announcing the whatchamacallit, the GP9 CN last year, looking at those numbers and seeing if there's a lot of interest in it, and all the CP guys will be like, well, where's mine? I want the CP version. I would think that they would do a CP one now, or announce the CP one, so that so that no one's left out, right? To me, that makes sense. Although I'm sure that a lot of people would say, well, why didn't they just announce the CP one and the CN one together? I'm sure that there's differences between the two. I wouldn't be able to tell you, but I'm sure there are differences. I'm waiting for more Go Transit cars, preferably the newer cab car. More numbers in general, because I've got 12 right now, 12 cars. 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, I've got 12. And I'd love like the newer paint scheme. Maybe if they did some wraps as well. So that would be cool. But that's just me, right? These are the things that I like. These are the things that I would run. I know everybody's different. There's a lot of Canadian guys that run American stuff, and then there's a lot of American guys as well that do run Canadian stuff, which is really neat to see because, we all have different things that we like, and it's cool. Yeah, the power cab car. That's right, Derek. And that's one of the things that I like about Rapido is that they're very transparent about things. They they do make a lot of jokes and stuff, which is fine because don't take yourself too seriously, right? If I had to go to work every day and be super serious just to, you know, make everyone else happy, then I wouldn't like my job all that much. So it's important to have fun with it too. By the way, all this is going on super easy. And I do have doors somewhere. I don't know where I put the doors. They're probably over there in the box. But... What's another good one? I was thinking, well, they definitely need another run of those Procore tank cars. And the only thing is that they were done recently. So I doubt they would do those again this soon. They might wait another couple of years to do more of those. F40s. They could do more F40s. I don't know if the market is flooded completely yet in F40s, but there's a Go Transit F40, and they could do some more Renaissance numbers because Renaissance units are rare. No one has done the Love the Way F40 yet, which is as modern as you can get right now. Yeah, but the Renaissance ones are huge right now because people were selling them for quite a bit, like over $400. So I think doing some of those would be beneficial. Will the doors move up and down? I've been playing with the idea to do something like that. The only problem is that, like, I've seen a servo that does the push pull, but it's like $100 for one servo motor that does that. And I'm not completely committed to the idea of spending $100 on a servo, let alone two servos to open up and close both doors. I wouldn't mind it if it was something where I can, use my finger to raise it up. If I had a little system for that. But again, it's just they're ideas. They're great ideas. But yeah, it's not something I really planned for. But I would love to do that. That would be cool. I wish I had that spray to basically make this dry right now so I can move on to the next wall. You know what? That's not bad. Okay. Next wall. Well, let's see this. Can you see this? Looks cool. I likes the look of that. All right, Mark. You have yourself a good one. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna just get these glued here, and then I'm gonna throw in the towel myself, because then I'm defeating the purpose of starting early. So I'm just gonna place some of these, and then we're gonna glue them in place. Oh, where is it? There it is. So don't forget, guys, we'll be at the Arm Prior Train Show next weekend, and I'll probably do a live. That'll be on the Saturday, and we'll get into some trouble. I'll follow Mark around and watch as he experiences live streams, or a train show. Also, I'm going to take my camera and camera car, and we'll go around the Ottawa layout, the Ho-Track layout, as a cab car, because that's always fun. And then obviously I'll be back next Sunday to work on this some more. What locomotive, CNE, John, there, what locomotive would you want unnumbered? Which one are you thinking about? You talking about the GMD one? Hey Darren, how's it going? We're actually just going to wrap things up here because I've got a couple more windows to put in, and then I'm done for the day. Started at 11. Guess going for 2.5 hours. It's quite a bit, but it took a while to actually get did all the brickwork. I used a white wash here, and I covered the whole thing basically on the outside in the white wash. Let it dry, and then I wiped it off there just to give the effect of mortar in between the bricks. And that's really all I needed to do for the outside, technically. So now I'm just gluing in the windows or the window frames so that I have a little bit more done. Because I'm very anxious to get this thing together and finished, because we're wrapping things up in just a couple of weeks with this group build. And I give you an idea. If today is the 28th, we just have the 4th and 11th. So 2 Sundays left. I'm sure Perry's already done his. I think he started a bit earlier than the rest of us, but that's okay. But I'm going to give it another, 2 weeks to finish. And then we're not doing a show on Father's Day, which is the 18th. And then we'll be back on the 25th with another group build, but a different project. Like a glove. All right. So I just got to glue these in, and then we're good. Come on, glue. I'm going to need new glue soon. All these kits I've been doing, using up all my glue. Got to find my heavy bottles, and then I'm just going to put a bit of weight on that. And on that one's probably the best fitting one, but still. Okay. Yeah, I just have the back section to do, but I'm going to do that at a later time. It's not a huge deal. It's just the three doors. As long as I got the sides and the front done, that's all I personally really cared about. And I'm very happy with how this looks. I just got to wipe the back off once those are dry there. You should keep a hairbrush available for that. Not a hairbrush, but a hair dryer. Duh. Okay. Hey, Model Railway fan, how's it going? Happy Sunday to you as well. Okay, so that one's good. Note to self, get more white paint. Check. Essentially, these will stick, and that's fine, because I mean, they're pretty good fits anyways, so. So I'm just going to show you here. There's the front, voila. And I just got to do the back, which I'm just going to wipe off the back because that's the only one I didn't wipe off yet. Okay. Cool. So yeah, so there you go. There's that, and the roof, which I still need to add the grip tape to. Totally fine. I will do that when I get more. It's really coming together. It really looks good. I really like it. I'm very happy with it, and I already have trains running in and out of this thing. Well, even before the the walls were put on there. So, but yeah, I'm doing good. I hope you're doing well as well. But yeah, like I said, we've got 2 more weeks, 2 more Sundays to go of this. of working on this kit or the group kit build. So make sure you stick around and come back, even just for the conclusion, which happens. I think I said the 14th, the 4th, yeah, the 11th. So next week is a work week, and then we've got June 11th, which will be the wrap up for this, and you'll be able to come back and take a look and see how everyone's turned out. So just a reminder, next Saturday, or this Saturday coming up, this Saturday, not yesterday, but next Saturday, be at the Arm Prior Train Show. I'm going to do a live from there. I'm sure some of the guys are going to film some stuff. So that'll be like midday, I think. And we'll have a good time. And then on Monday, not tomorrow Monday, but next Monday, we have the Rapido Barbecue. So I'm probably going to do a live from there, or I'll just film some pre-recorded stuff, I think. A little bit of both. Maybe a little bit of both. I mean, there's a set of tracks there that run right through the back, the behind the buildings. So I'm sure that we'll catch a train or something. But yeah, that's just a few things to look forward to coming up on the channel. So make sure you stick around, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification button so that you know whenever I'm going live. Sometimes I try to make sure that it's always around the same time. Sometimes it's a little earlier, or sometimes I'm running a little late. It happens. Life happens sometimes. So, but I really appreciate you guys coming out and spending the brunch with me. I was going to say spend the morning with me, spend the afternoon. We're going to say you spent the brunch with me today. So great to see everybody. Make sure you guys have yourselves a great week. And again, it's the Memorial weekend for our US guys. So if you are a veteran, thank you for your service. I know that there's the American and the Canadian side, but you know what? We've been allies for a long time, and I feel like, you know, even the Canadians should be honoring the Americans as well, the ones that, you know, sacrificed, you know, a lot just to make sure that we all have freedoms. So appreciate you all. Have yourselves a great weekend, and we'll see you real soon.